Are you still skinny fat or do you struggle to keep the weight off? This is one of my most frequently asked questions whenever I'm approached in the gym, and people always come up to me and they're like, hey, I've done 2 hours of cardio every single day, or I've had no carbs for the last month, or I have no fats, or I do fasting, or whatever the case may be. And I think that when it comes to fat loss, it's a very frustrating issue that most people face. And in reality, it's a lot more simple to handle than most people would assume. And so I want to break that down in this video. Now, obviously, before I get into this, I want you to subscribe, smash the like button, share the video with a friend, and turn on your bell notifications. I cover everything fitness, so hopefully you guys can crush your goals. Now, pretty much when it comes down to fat loss, you want to keep a few things in mind. So whenever you're losing weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit, which basically means that you need to consume less calories than what your body uses to maintain its body weight. And the best way to do this is you want to do this in a gradual way to where you ideally lose about half a pound to a pound per week. That's going to put you in a sweet spot to where you're not losing so much muscle and you're focusing more so on the fat loss. Now, obviously, you want to prioritize your muscle, right? So you want to have a very well-rounded diet. You don't want to go like on a crash diet. You don't want to go to 0 calories. You want to be in a good sweet spot so that your body can naturally adapt to whatever you're giving it. And you want to basically do the same kind of weight training that you were initially doing so that your body knows to hang on to that muscle. And so what happens is instead of losing like 10 to 15 pounds and it being like, fat, muscle, and water to where that creates like a skinny fat, you want to do, weight training, gradual decreases in calories so that you're losing consistent weight. And that's going to ultimately make you look a lot better, even if you're losing less weight. Now, what tends to happen whenever people start, dialing back their calories is they'll start losing like, maybe 2 or 3 pounds in the first couple weeks. That's usually because you have a lot of water weight, and naturally your body tries to maintain its body weight on whatever you're giving it, and so it takes a little bit of time to adjust. But the best way to measure basically your weight progress is you want to weigh yourself every single time in the morning, basically after going to the restroom on empty, same conditions, and then get a weekly average because your calories aren't measured per day. It's more so by the week because your body doesn't change from day to day. And so what happens over time is you want to keep this log, and as time goes on, you can either increase the calories to put yourself in a deficit, or you can just decrease whatever you're eating. In my scenario, I love food, so I will have the food and then I will just, do more cardio if that's, what I want to do. Now, another trick that I tend to gravitate towards is I like to be very productive in my mornings, and whenever I'm working, I feel like I perform a lot better without food, even with my workouts. And so a trick to give you guys is instead of having, all these meals spread out throughout the day, just maybe try to push them back and maybe have your first meal around like 2, 3, or 4, unless that's just something that's very unbearable for you. And so what happens when you push those calories back, the main focus is just prioritizing those calories and getting them in through the day. It's not necessarily so important to get those calories, every 2 or 3 hours, just overall numbers. And so when you have bigger meals towards the end of the day, that's usually when you get most of your cravings and you're able to have bigger satiating meals. So that's my really quick tutorial on how to approach your fat loss and ideally not lose so much muscle in the process. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll be reviewing them soon. And as always, stay tuned for the next fitness video.